Greetings, children, and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking again about right triangle trigonometry. So here's our right triangle. We have angle A, angle B, and angle C, which is our right angle. And then, of course, we have our two legs and the hypotenuse. So there's our sides. This is one leg. This is another leg. And the other day we talked about finding the sine. Today we're talking about finding cosine. Cosine is spelled C-O-S-I-N-E, abbreviated C-O-S. So, if we're trying to find cosine of a specific angle, like cosine of A, it's very similar to how we found sine. So we said here's angle A, we have one leg that's right beside angle A. That's called the adjacent leg. The leg that's far away is called the opposite leg. So we have the adjacent leg and the opposite leg. And we said sine was opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So it's the adjacent leg over the hypotenuse. So once again, it's just a ratio. And a lot of times you'll just see it abbreviated as ADJ, adjacent, over HYP, hypotenuse. Or like this, CAH. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So let's look at a couple examples. Let's say we had a right triangle, and over here is angle C. Oh no, let's make this one angle D. And then E and F is our right angle. If we're trying to find cosine, and we knew some of the side lengths, like let's say we had 4, 10, and 12, then cosine of angle E is going to be the adjacent leg, 4, over the hypotenuse, 12. So as a fraction, it would be 4/12. We would reduce it to 1/3. And then cosine of E, written as a decimal, would be 0.3 repeating. Or if we were going to round it, it would be 0.333. So that would be cosine of E. Now remember, the adjacent leg is the leg that's right beside it. So let's say instead of finding cosine of E here, we were finding cosine of D. So up here is angle D. So the adjacent leg to D here is 10. So it'd be 10 over 12. The hypotenuse stays the same, of course. So 10 over 12 would reduce. We could divide them both by 2, and we get 5 over 6. So 5 over 6 would mean that if we wrote it as a decimal, it would be equal to 0.83 repeating, if you recall your decimals, to fraction equivalencies that we learned earlier in the year, or 0.833 if we were rounding it to the nearest thousandth. Remember, tenth, hundredth, thousandth. So that would be how to find cosine of D. Now, once again, if you know the angle, you can look up the cosine in a table or using a calculator. For your books, you're going to be using a table. So the table is, once again, on page 420. And on page 420, let's just take a look. It says cosine in the middle column there. So you go down and find your angle. So let's say you want to find cosine of 30. It's 0.866. Let's say you want to find cosine of 17. It's 0.956. Cosine of 66 degrees will be 0.407. Cosine of 86 degrees would be 0.070. So there's just a few examples that you can look at and follow along with in your book. Alright, well that's just about all there is about cosine. So take a look, try out the homework, see what you think. Pretty similar to sine, so shouldn't be too challenging. Thanks, have a great day.